Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Stacia. Since the last episode, well, the episode before the base tour, I have been very busy. I've been working on trading out our storage system, and I will take you guys over there in just a moment. There is a little bit of automation over here I want to mention. There's a sequential fabricator set up. This is making our dielectric paste. So I'm going this method. Of course, we can also, if we take a look here, there's a couple different methods that you can go down to make your dielectric paste. You can either do this method or you can do this method. Personally, I find this as way too expensive for just two of them with how much you need. So I do like this method here a lot more. You can also automate ebony metal like this. So that is an option as well, though I'm just going the psi method, making the ebony substance, because I can pop into the end and make loads of this in bulk and make loads of psi metal in bulk. It's not that bad. This, not that bad either, though my energizing orb is going to be very busy here soon. And so unless I set up another one for making Uaturium, I'd rather just not do this personally, because then you have to do this and it's just a bunch of other stuff that you got to do. So personally, I find it easier just to make this stuff in bulk myself, but those options are available. I did set up this to pull out our insanium. There's none in there. I'll show you why that is. And then I did set up a couple assemblers. So this one knows how to make redstone imbued plates. It just makes 64 at a time. So it sends 256 redstone dust and 64 obsidian plates. It fills this out. It runs because we need a lot of those. Why not make them in a full stack? And then this one here just makes litherite. One litherite crystal, one redstone imbued plate makes one litherite interconnect. Right here. And I haven't done all that much building since the last episode because I've been busy with this. This was a little bit painful. I did make a cell workbench so that I could partition our storages to only accept certain items. And then I went through also, and I named these as I went. So you can see we have diamonds, netherite, scrap, star metal, bitumen, emeralds, coal, redstone, glowstone, clay, all this different stuff. Not all of these are 64Ks. The stuff that we're going to have a lot of is 64Ks. And some of these are filled, like coal and redstone. You can see redstone's kind of clicking on and off because it's crafting something. Then mobs, I have stuff like wither and dragon. So that's going to be nether stars and wither drops and dragon drops. There's enderman. There's aquatic mobs. There's wither skeleton and ghast. I'll probably end up separating those because wither skulls and ghast tears, we use a bit of those. And so just having them all dump in the same place, probably not the best idea. I was just honestly tired of making 64Ks by that point. Over in here, you can see we've got some different block types. Kind of drop storage on those. I didn't feel like I needed as much for these things. And then if we come on through, you can see 1Ks for like matter balls and printed silicon, more 4Ks for stuff that comes from trees. Sticks and oak, I gave them a lot of space. Mystical flowers, I gave that a lot of space, but that's all 16 mystical flowers. Over here you can see nitro essence, nether star essence, dragon essence. These are in 16Ks because I wanted to store up a bit of those. And then you can see HDPE, treated wood, xerothium, spirited crystals, niotic crystals, insanium, platinum. And the way I've got this set up, okay, so I've got 6 ME drives, and then that comes up, goes into an ME interface storage bus, 6 ME drives, interface storage bus. This will be 6 ME drives, interface storage bus. So this is just kind of super soaring. So it only uses basically one channel coming out right here from this spot here. So storage bus interface. But you'll also notice there's a P2P tunnel. Okay, and this is kind of where it's a little bit important. All this is quartzed off, so this is all kind of a subnetwork. But this P2P tunnel actually connects down. That P2P tunnel now connects here. If you recall, this used to be connected to our main system, but now it's connected to a P2P. This is all a subnetwork. So I'm running a P2P line through our main subnetwork line upstairs. It basically goes up this side and then goes into the mainframe and then down on that side. And this P2P, if we come around to all the storage buses, we have import buses with full acceleration cards. And these are just importing off of the different drawer networks. And then that's still plugged up through this. But that's just because I haven't got my inscribers fully set up. I'm still manually making them. Not too bad, because I've been making things in bulk. And we do have silicon fully automated. But I've got black iron automated now. So I'm going to be making some more inscribers. And I'll show you how I've got that done. But these go around to all the different drawer networks, including the one that has our essences and our trees and stuff. So this basically just covers everything. In this XNet system, this is the one that handles our infinite redstone and everything. This now does just a little bit more in that it takes stuff from various different small setups. Like for example, if we scroll down here, you can see it sends some things to some crafters. I'll show you that here in just a minute. It also handles the stuff, like instead of doing another import bus up here, that same XNet system connects up to this automation area. So it can pull the obsidian and the matter balls and the cobblestone, gravel, black sand, silicon, all that stuff. It can pull those things and send them into drawers. So now, for example, all this different stuff is being sent here. Our XP jellies from downstairs, our insanium, our HDPE pellets, our plastic, all that stuff can be sent here, and then it's interfaced by those importers. So we basically have 5 importers that feed our entire system from all of our different automation. This results in a lot better TPS. Having import buses, not nearly as impactful as having storage buses with drawers. So big TPS boost on that. And the crafters that I have set up are right down here, and these are handling various different essences. So you can see Fluix, Electrum, Terra Steel, Emeralds. I made a lot more seeds since the last episode, as you can see. So a lot of this stuff is stuff that we're going to need, and stuff that we're going to be using and bulking up for to make Singularities. So this one doesn't have anything at the moment. It's not actually plugged up at the moment. But back up to here, so what's happening is this is all a Super Soaring drive, basically starting here. That P2P then imports everything from all the different drawer systems and feeds them into these ME drives. However, since it's farther back, since it's not part of the main network, because it's a storage bus on an interface, our system sees all this as storage, but anything coming from this system can't be imported past this point. So that way our gold chest isn't affected. You know, it imports only to the subnetwork, the Super Soaring subnetwork for storage, but doesn't feed it over to our primary storage. Hopefully that makes sense. Like we explained the Super Soaring before, kind of think of this as like a gate where things can go this way and things can be pulled out this way, but things from this way can't be automatically sent through here unless our ME system says, hey, I need this. You know, if our ME system says, hey, I need platinum, okay, it can send it through. But if the system doesn't say it needs something, it can't send it through. So it can't send anything to our gold chest. That keeps our gold chest clean, and all this other bulk stuff, you know, for example, redstone, coal, this stuff is filled up, but it's not going to our gold chest. So a lot better performance using drives, and everything is now accessible. It was a little bit of a nightmare at first, having to plug up my system, order a bunch of like 64Ks, and let it run. I just made a bunch of housings, and then I would just make the cells as I needed them, add things in, and slot them. So, but you can see that everything is accessible from our AE system. So we have 520,000 redstone and coal. That's the maximum that can go into a 64K for these. I think this one is pulling some, well, not pulling stuff anymore. It's done with whatever it's doing. Also, there was a bit more stuff being stocked up here. We take a look. I got rid of the nitro since we can just make nitro, because I was stocking nitro crystals, but now we can make it this way, and so I'm just making it that way. And so I'm not stocking it, but we can see that there's nitro capacitors, there's oak planks, there's redstone imbued obsidian, there's litherite interconnect, skystone, flux cores, all the stuff that we need for making black iron. So now if we come down, I'm not sure, I've got plenty of flux. Let me just order some black iron, because I've only got 16 here and we're going to need some this episode. So you can see basically if I order some, it orders a stack at a time. This is really lazy automation. But since we use black iron as much as we do, you can see I expanded our ender alternators. Basically what happens is the recipe says 64, 64, 64, 64, 64, 64, 64, 64, 64. It's laid out exactly like a crafting table, okay? And the reason being is because AE2, whenever it handles a request, it will just send things in the order that they are in the grid. So it sends the flux cores, then it sends the skystone, then it sends the flux cores, then the flux dust, and so on. And so that way we don't even have to, I mean, we could automate this and make it so that we can order them one at a time, but there's really no point within this pack to do that. So I've just got it set up in this way. So I figured there wasn't really any reason to make it. You know, we've been doing a lot of things so they craft kind of in bulk. Black iron's the same way. We use it so much. We're going to be using it a lot as we move into endgame for like compressors and things like that, which we're going to start getting into. So I just figured, well, we'll just craft it a stack at a time. There's really no point not to within this pack. And at this point, all this stuff is cheap. I've got HLP graphite seeds, so we can make all the HLP graphite we could want. Flux dust, basically free. We're going to be setting up some automation for that. Nitro capacitors are free. Litherite, all this stuff's free. And the only things that are crafted within the Ender Crafter, of course, there is the automation interface or whatever that could handle this, but enhanced Ender ingots we don't use for much. We're going to use like 40 of them or something like that there. And I think those aren't used for like anything. These aren't used for anything. So we're not going to use very many of these. We throw them in the crafting grid one time, and that's it, pretty much. We make a stack of them, and we probably got enough for the pack. Ender stars, they're used, I think, a little bit more because we use them to make these. And then we'll use them to make the Watch of Flowing Time. And I think beyond that, there's not much. I know Watch of Flowing Time is used for a couple things. Repair Talisman and Creative Vending Machine upgrade. We need 2. So that's another thing that we really aren't going to be using much of. So I figured if that's the only thing that we need to automate, really, we just stick it in here with a direct recipe. So now what we're going to do, first and foremost, something that I would really like to do, let's get ourselves one of each essence. We're going to teach our system a recipe here. If you take all 3 of those and you send them over into the power system, it's something simple we just have to add to this, but we do need to get this underway. This is going to make us what's called a deuterium, I don't know if that I'm pronouncing it right, but deuterium pile. So there's our very first ones of those. I don't know if there's no quest for that. We're going to go ahead and teach our system that. And then we're going to teach it a recipe that says if you take 9 of those, you're going to get a nugget. We're going to craft that. And I've removed the ability to craft nitro through the power system because there wasn't much point in it. I'm going to add those piles to this system so that it'll shut off, you know, like it does as needed. You know, if something's crafting. And I'm going to go ahead and order, let's say 10 patterns. So if I wanted to order, say, 9 nuggets, it's going to take us 80 of these, since we do have that one already in the system. So I'm going to go ahead and order that and let that just kind of run for now, because it's going to take a while. I should probably get more nitro things, honestly. Like more nitro energizing rods. Let's go ahead and order, say, 10 of these. Oh, we're about out of ebony substance. And energized steel, which we can't craft. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to make some energized steel seeds here soon. Anyways, while that stuff's running, let's go ahead. I'll pop into the end at some point in this episode and get some more of that stuff. But what I would like to do is I'd like to turn our attention over to big reactors because we're going to need some cyanite. And I did go ahead and I automated this. Let's go ahead and order ourselves a bit of graphite. It's probably going to be enough. We're not going to be making a big reactor. We're going to make a small big reactor. And let me get... let's just go with like 10 ultimate control circuits. And I'm going to need a bit of atomic alloy as well. So we'll just order some of that. Okay, now while that stuff's running, let's go ahead, make ourselves up a couple more things here. I want to teach it to make these ingots, and I want to teach it to make these blocks. I don't think we're going to be using the ingots themselves, but the blocks, they're going to come up with Everlasting Guilty Pool, Creative Mana Tablet, and these Deuterium Pearls, which take a bunch of black iron. They also take Zerothium Interconnects, which we're now getting Zerothium, so that's not a big deal. Pink Slime, which is easy. Fluix Pearl, which is easy. So at this point, once we build up a bit of this, I'll just be ordering it probably by the blocks and letting it run, probably while I'm offline and stuff, making a lot of this. Though I'm hoping we'll get it sped up to where it's pretty quick to craft. But we're going to be making quite a few of these because these are going to be used in the Cosmic Anime Dinner, as well as Watch of Flowing Time, Energy Condenser, Indistus Pearl, which this overall isn't too bad to make, in all honesty, at this point. Then we're going to be using it for Creative Energy Cells, Everlasting Guilty Pools, Philosopher's Stone, Creative Mana Tablet, and Creative Vending Upgrade. So a lot of uses for these blocks here. So, and then what we're going to do, our stuff for big reactors should be done now. So let's go ahead. Let's get ourselves. Oh, I need more black iron slates. And there's 12 of those for now. And then to make our big reactor, we're going to need, this is all basic and then reinforced. We're just going to be going with basic. It doesn't matter for us too much. Can we get a reactor controller? And then let's go ahead and get a reactor fuel rod. Let's get a reactor control rod. Order a piston real quick. It's another thing I really probably should keep on hand. And then we're going to want a couple access ports for solid materials. So there's 2 solid access ports. Let's go ahead and get another batch of these. I think we will have to have a power tap. So we'll just get this right here. There's that. We're going to go with just a passive one. That'll be fine. Alright, so let's pop down. Or let me go check on the black iron production. Maybe speed this up a little bit. Yeah. There we go. Much better. Let's see. We're going to need 4, 8, 12, 24. I think we'll need 28. But we're going to start with that and just see what we get to. Okay, and I'm going to order some more alloy. Oh yeah, we're already done with a big chunk of that at the moment. Actually, we're going to set it up over here by some of our automation. So what we're going to do, let me get this as kind of a placeholder block. We're going to put that down. We're going to put our reactor fuel rod in the very, very middle. Our control rod at the top. And then we'll put in our reactor controller, our solid access port, and our other solid access port, and then we're going to have our power tap setting right back here. Okay, and then the rest of this has to be reactor blocks, so we're going to need 9, 13, 21 of these. Okay, there's 12. I got to let those steel plates build back up, but we're going to go ahead, put that in. Then we're going to go ahead and get ourselves 4 pieces of uranium. But I'm just missing 1 reactor casing right now. We're making the smallest possible big reactor. And then, boom, it's formed. There it is. And we are going to have, this one is going to be inlet mode. So basically it can input items. And if we were to throw this in there, you can see it gets consumed, and this should start making stuff for us. Then we're going to set this one to outlet mode, because we want basically the cyanide that's created to come out over there, and we want the uranium to come in here. So now you can see our core fuel status, we have 50% full. That is 4 ingots worth, 4 ingots of uranium. We're going to go ahead and set this to on. We don't have to worry about anything with this because this can't explode. And it shouldn't generate all that much power. You can see it's slowly generating. And you can see our consumption here. It'll take a little bit to run that out. I'm not sure if we were to speed this up. We can't speed it up. Okay. And then just because we don't really need it, let's go ahead and make ourselves an energy trash can. And then let's just get ourselves a cable. Since we do have a passive energy tap, so if we put this there, you can see it doesn't automatically get pushed out. That's because it's a passive one. So I guess we could have done an active one, but this will be fine. So go ahead and extract the energy from that. Boom. We don't actually want the energy. We just want you to dump all your energy in the trash and steadily burn up that uranium, because we just want the cyanide from it. Because the cyanide is going to be something that we're going to need, and we aren't really going with reactors. But as you can see, cyanide is going to be used in making ultimate ingots. Not a whole lot of it. We'll use like maybe a stack. I think more like half a stack probably. Creative essence, this is actually really easy for us to make at this point. If we take a look, we've actually built up a lot of essence, by the way. This stuff builds up extremely fast with just mob farms. So we have 223, which is pretty good considering we haven't even started into in-game. Probably by the time we do, we'll have like 1,000. That's going to go really far, actually. It will still take some time to build up. We could do a big farm like I've done in the past on series, but there just wasn't much point. Because I think we'll be producing it fast enough that by the time that we actually do need it, we'll generally have it, I think. Okay, and we've got 3 nuggets. I'll probably pop over because I've got to get more ebony anyways, because we're going to be out of nitro capacitors. But let's pop over, let's order another batch of black iron, and I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. And the reason that we're using just 4 uranium in that is because we actually only need 4 cyanite for our needs. So we'll go ahead and get this crafted up. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be making more ender alternators. Even though black iron, after what we do today, we're not really going to be using that much of it either. So it's really not that big of a deal. And I feel like it would make this room kind of ugly if I filled it full of ender alternators. I think this looks alright. So what we're going to make now, we're going to get a couple things here. First up, we're going to get a level emitter. And I'm actually going to be making a few of these over, like between episodes and stuff. Making a few of these setups. We're going to go ahead and get ourselves a couple of these. Let's get a P2P. Let's get toggle buses. I need 1 more of these. And then let's get ourselves a, well, can I just make 1 of these? I gotta make more CPUs. They're starting to become a problem. Because I'm making all this other stuff. And then having Uaterium crafting a lot and stuff like that, it's gonna impact me. But they're easy to make now. So I'm gonna make, I've got space for another 12, and I think I'll work on that. Because they're really easy to make. A bunch of 64Ks and stuff. Export bus, and then let's get ourselves the big thing that we're after, the quantum compressor. So I did some math. These are going to be 32 black iron each. A little bit more if you count the catalyst, because you are going to need a catalyst for that. But we're going to need to get ourselves 9. And let me get a 10th one of the, oh, and 4 more. And then let's get 9 of these. And then we are going to need to get 2 of these. And we're going to have to get a black iron frame. There is our quantum compressor. How many black iron? Okay, I actually have 3. I think it was... Maybe I made too many of those. Or maybe it's a little bit more than I was thinking, but it doesn't matter. It might be more than 32. Probably mismathed somewhere. And then let's get ourselves a... Let's see, for singularities, it's ultimate catalyst. So there was our ultimate catalyst. And then let's start off by grabbing ourselves like a stack of redstone. Let's get some acceleration cards. And then we're going to pop up. We are going to... Let me get some fluics. Let's grab our memory card. Let's go with... I'm probably not going to use half the channels I have here by the end of the pack, but we're going to go with the green ME dense. And then what we're going to do is we're going to run out, say right here. I don't want you to go to the upside. P to P. That, once again, don't go to the upside. We'll go ahead and give that our P to P line. I guess how we're going to do it, let's run this down. Let's put in our level emitter here and one here. Remember that these are going to take a channel, so just kind of bear that in mind. And we're going to say emit when levels are above or equal to limit. And we're going to put in redstone. And we're going to say above 10,000. Okay, so if there's above 10,000 redstone in the system, emit a redstone signal. We're going to put our toggle bus in right there. You can see device online. It's sending channels through because, oops, what did I do with that? Let me snag that off. We're going with a regular toggle bus because we only want this to send information or items down through here if the levels are above our given amount. And so then what we're going to do is we're just going to run that fluix down. This is the south side. These don't really matter. They're not going to do anything with fluix cable, but I don't really want them there. And then we're going to put the quantum compressor here. We're going to put export bus right there. And let me go ahead and insert that power into our quantum compressor. That's all the advanced connector, it doesn't matter. Insert power into this. There we go. This should be, I shouldn't have to worry about advanced connector because it's going to fill out before we are ready to make a singularity, I think. Let's put that in, our ultimate catalyst, and let's add redstone and acceleration cards to this. And you can see it's going to start processing and making, taking that redstone dust and turning it into a singularity. Now, some of this stuff is going to be free. If we take a look at singularities, I know that glowstone, coal, and redstone, we have pretty much infinite of this. So this will be quick. These other ones will take a little bit longer. We do have seed set up, but we're also going to be speeding things up. But this is going to build up. It's only 8,129 per singularity, so it's not as bad as a lot of packs. You know, a lot of packs have that 100,000 amount that's needed. This pack is not too bad, realistically. I mean, I could make a singularity for most of these things, a single one, for most of these things right now. But we are going to need quite a few singularities as we move forward. So, and then once this fills up, we are going to get our very first singularity getting crafted. I think there's quests. Is there a quest? No, there's not a quest for all the singularities. Or any particular singularity. And there we go. And you can see it's not gonna take any more after it fills up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this run out a stack of singularities. Once it runs out a stack of redstone singularities, I'll turn it off. I'll pull those out. It'll make, I think, one more at that point. So we'll have a stack in one, and then I'm going to switch this one over to something else. Now, I am going to be making more of these quantum compressors, but we're just going to tell it that it has to have more than 10,000 of that item in stock, and then everything else can go to making our singularities for us. because I think 10,000 of any individual material is more than enough for us. And so far, it hasn't even touched redstone. Redstone's still sitting on full at the moment. Awesome. Let me get my cat real quick. And let me get a bunch of coal. Because I need more dielectric paste at this point. I'll just teleport over to our enviro miners. But I just felt like this is so fast, there really wasn't any reason for doing a bunch more automation for this. Because like if I have to do a little something, that's okay. It's not that big of a deal. So popping over to the end every once in a while, we'll use a bit of dielectric paste, but it's realistically it's not that bad, I don't think. Because it's literally a click of a button, you know. It's not that big of a deal. So I could easily make thousands of the stuff if I wanted to. Yeah, it's crafting away, and I'm sure it's crafting a bunch of nitro capacitors right now, because we are out of those. But everything else we're good on for black iron. So at this point, can I go ahead and order 10 more of these? No crafting CPUs, and I need the energized steel. Okay. I tell you what, can I get essence here? Let's go make some energized steel seeds real quick. But yeah, from looking, the end game in this pack, it's not too bad at all. Because this pack, it gives you things like mystical agriculture. Very, very accessible as soon as you get to like late game. You pretty much have infinite power. You know, power's not really an issue within this pack. In terms of end game. And overall singularities and stuff, not too bad. And we get Project E. So there is that as well. So we'll just go ahead and set up energized steel. There we go. And I'll go ahead and get that set up. I've got to fill this one out before I actually plug it up. But I'll get that filled up today. Okay, now let's see how our big reactor's doing. I'd like to get that cyanide up and going. We are 10.9% depleted. So we still have a little while before that cyanide's done, but that's fine. We don't need it right this second. Okay, I got 10 of these nitro energizing rods ordered, and I did also set up another quantum compressor, which is making coal singularities at the moment. So we got 4 of those, and then we've got currently 35 redstone singularities. Okay, we're actually going to end out this episode here. I'd actually went ahead and recorded, thinking that I could stick one more thing into here, but we spent a while covering AE2. We did the Deuterium compression, our big reactor, and all that, so we really don't have time for RF Tools Dimensions, but that's what we're going to be doing next episode. I've already recorded it. Also, we did get our first 2 pieces of cyanite at this point, but I've got to run, basically it's 4 uranium ingots to get our 4 cyanite that we're going to need, so I'm going to run another 4 ingots through there. But yeah, next episode we are going to start delving into some RF Tools Dimensions so we can get lots of materials for our singularities. So we're going to start jumping into that. Actually, I need to check. I may need to turn off emeralds now, because I bet they are filled. They are filled. We have over 3 million blocks of emeralds. So I think I'm done. I think I'm done with emeralds. But yeah, so we're gonna get into some RF tools dimensions come next episode, and start delving into that. So I hope you guys join me for that. We're kind of getting some groundwork laid. The seeds have really paid off, though at this point I may remove things like emerald seeds, and replace them now with more dragon egg essence, nether star essence, nitro, crystal essence. Chances are, because these seeds are more just to help us kind of jumpstart RF tools dimensions, and not really for long term. These aren't. We're going to keep like Niotic and Spirited. But I'm noticing the Uraterium, we're going to need quite a few of these. Either that or Torturino. And I kind of want to avoid Torturino, just because it tends to be very, very bad on performance. I've never been a big fan of tick accelerators. Time in a bottle, okay. Because we kind of control when we use it, and it's kind of manual to use it. Torturino, not as much. So... but yeah, so I hope you guys join me for next episode as we start into the true in-game, in my opinion. Kind of starting into RF Tools Dimensions is always kind of a sign of getting ready for some in-game, doing some singularities and stuff like that. So I hope you guys join me for that. After that, we will be doing some automation stuff, and then we are going to be crafting our very first creative item. I will say at this point, episodes, as far as when they come out for Stacia, will begin to slow down, because it's going to be basically just big crafts, lots of materials, and basically it's more for my sanity. I think we could push and pump out creative items at a pretty decent rate, but part of it is for server performance, part of it is for my sanity, because in-game tends to be just getting lots and lots and lots of things, and it tends to not be the most exciting thing in my opinion. Plus, I want to start wrapping up the build at this point, because we are kind of approaching the end of the pack and the end of the series. So episodes will begin to slow down, but we'll be bringing something new into the mix with that as well, to kind of make up for a slower episode release for Stacia. Anyways, with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, to stay updated with when new videos come out, and I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, I'll see you guys then.